Hey guys, Saba here, and today we're going to be talking about how I got lost in a foreign country. Yep, the title isn't clickbait, this actually happened to me. Also, you may notice the Bedwars footage in the background. I'm going to be starting a series where I tell stories but also play Bedwars. I hope you enjoy, but without further ado, let's hop into the story. So a little backstory, my grandpa on my dad's side was born and raised in Italy. He lived there for a bit until moving to America, where he had my dad, who eventually had me. Because my grandpa was from Italy, he had a bunch of relatives there, so on July 16th, 2016, we set off for Italy. We didn't do much for the first 2 days we were there, aside for getting settled in Rome, but on the 18th, we decided to go sightseeing. We spent most of the day in the Pantheon, fed some pigeons, and then went home. The next day, we went sightseeing again. We saw the Colosseum, from the outside at least. We pet some horses, we went to a wine garden, got some strawberry Italian gelato, which is basically fancy ice cream. Then we went and saw the Monumento Nazionale Vittorio Emanuele II, or in English, the Victor Emmanuel II Monument, which just sounds kinda lame. After that, we saw whatever this is, the Fountain of Trevi, the Spanish Steps, and the Fountain of the Old Boat. We walked a lot that day and saw a lot of places, so we were really tired by the end. And you know what tired people do? They do stupid things, which is exactly what I did. So when we were riding the subway back from Vatican City to Ostia, a little 9-year-old me decided it would be a good idea to go check out the first subway car. The first subway car had one of those really big windows that you could see the entire track, so I just wanted to hang out there. I asked my dad, and he gave me the go-ahead to look around, so I went and explored. I eventually settled in the first car and waited for the stop. I don't remember the exact name of the stop, but I remember it was very similar in name to the stop in front of it, so they could be easily confused. I was told which stop we were supposed to be getting off at, so when I saw the other name, I thought it was time to get off. So I grabbed all my stuff and hopped off of the subway. I stood where I was for around 30 seconds, but no family came out, so I thought maybe they had gone to the other side. I looked around on the other side, and I still didn't find them. Little did I know my grandpa, my dad, and my sister were on their way to the next stop without me. A little while later, my dad was like, "Oh yeah, I should probably go get my son, because we're gonna get off soon." He looked around for a bit, and then a man asked him what he was looking for. My dad responding that he was looking for a small, light brown-haired kid that had come up to the car earlier. Then the man said that that kid had just gotten off at the last stop. Now imagine this, you're a parent and you're told that your 9-year-old child got off on the wrong stop in a big metropolitan city in a different country. How do you think you would feel in this situation? The panic set in, my dad and grandpa started to freak out. I didn't speak Italian, I didn't have a phone, there's no way of contacting me, and I was 9. There was also the added worry that I could have been taken off the train by someone, or I could be possibly kidnapped in the station. The city of Rome that I was in is so huge that if I were to wander outside the subway, there would be very little hope for them finding me. At first, my family contacted relatives to see if I had somehow made my way to their houses, which I hadn't. And then they got smart and asked the train conductor to make a call to the previous station. They told the conductor to say that a little boy had just gotten off on the wrong stop, and if they saw him, to hold on to him. My family had just gotten off at the next stop, one away from me, and they were told they would have to wait 15 minutes for the next subway going the opposite direction so they could come get me. Back to me. I walked around for a bit before I had realized what had happened. Once I did realize, I ran around asking people if they spoke English. Until finally, a worker there pulled me aside and explained in very broken English what had happened. He said that I had gotten off on the wrong stop and that my family was coming to get me soon. At first I didn't believe him because of stranger danger, but after him name-dropping my dad, I knew he was telling the truth. The office he had me wait in was kind of on a bridge that looked over the tracks. After a bit, there were still no parents, even though we had seen 2 new subway cars. At this point, I was breaking down crying. I mean, what do you expect from a 9-year-old kid who can't find their parents in a foreign country? The man let me play on his phone to calm me down, which worked. And finally, after half an hour, my family showed up. At first, they couldn't find me. They looked around for a bit, but then when I saw them looking around, I went over to them. I remember the moment when they first saw me again. I was at the top of the steps that they were walking up. They just kinda saw me and stared at me for a bit. After an awful 10 seconds of silence, they came up to me and all of them gave me a big hug. When I was interviewing my parents and grandparents, they said they both wanted to kill me and it would have been a double homicide. I couldn't really tell what either of them were saying because they were all crying while also yelling at me. After everything settled down, we reboarded the subway and my dad held on to me the entire time. When we got back to the place we were staying, I was instructed not to tell my mom, who was back in America, what had happened, as he didn't want her to get worried and make me come back early. So what did I do in response? I immediately FaceTimed her and told her what had happened. She was mad at me, but she was more mad at my dad for letting me go unattended. In the end, I still got to stay for the rest of my 2 weeks in Italy, and I got a good story to tell. But yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed the story and video. It was fun to make and it took a while to create. A huge thanks to my family for their interviews. I could not have made this video without them. Make sure to comment down below if you've ever gotten lost in another state or country, and also leave a like if you want me to continue this series. Maybe subscribe on your way out. You don't have to, but it's nice if you do, and it's always appreciated. Also, I won't be uploading the next 2 weeks because of finals. I will see you in the next video. Peace out.